Hey, what's happening, guys? Keto collagen donuts are what we're going to be making today. And these donuts, they not only look like they came from a donut shop, but they taste like they came from a donut shop too. They are perfectly sweetened, even though there's no sugar added to these, and they have the perfect texture and chewiness to them. A lot of that has to do with the collagen inside the donut. Even though you can't taste the collagen, it does give these donuts a perfect chewiness. They are so good, and each one has just 3 net carbs. So with that said, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into the good stuff. Make some low carb, keto, collagen donuts.
All right, first things first, we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Then we're gonna get out a super large bowl and we're gonna add our collagen to it. And for today's recipe, we'll be using a half a cup or 40 grams of it. Anyway, once we've got that in there, we're gonna add some coconut flour. And for today's recipe, I want to use 3 tablespoons or 21 grams of it. Then after we've added that, we're going to add a heaping cup or 128 grams of some blanched almond flour. Now, after we've shoveled in all of that almond flour, we're going to sweeten up our collagen donuts without adding any carbs or calories by sifting in a heaping third of a cup or 60 grams of some confectioner's swerve. And by the way, the reason we're sifting this in is because sometimes there can be some hard pieces that are tough to dissolve, and doing this ensures that we get rid of all those pieces. Anyway, the next thing we're gonna do is add 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of baking powder, and then we're gonna get our whisk out and whiskify all those dry ingredients together until they're well combined like this. Then we're gonna set that bowl aside and we're gonna get out a little bit of a smaller bowl for our wet ingredients. And then we're gonna add 2 large eggs to that bowl along with 1 egg yolk. Then we're gonna follow that up by adding 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of some unsweetened almond milk. And then I like to add some of this stuff, some sugar-free Torani syrup, to give my collagen donuts a boost of sweetness and vanilla flavor. So I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of that stuff to the bowl as well. And if you don't have this stuff, don't worry, I'll leave some instructions in the video description below on how you can make the donuts without it. Anyway, the next thing we're gonna do is add a teaspoon or 4 grams of vanilla extract in there. And then we're gonna get our whisk back out again and whiskify all those liquid ingredients until they're combined. Then when they are, we're gonna pour them into our dry ingredients, and then we're gonna mix them with the spatula until a thick, almost sticky-ish batter like this forms in there. And when it does, we're gonna coat a 6-slotted silicone donut tray with some baking spray. By the way, I highly recommend going with a silicone donut tray like this. It's worth the $8 or $9 investment. I used to use a non-stick donut tray like this, and the donuts always stuck to the tray and broke into pieces when I tried to take them out. So I don't recommend using one of these. Anyway, I digress. Now that we've got our donut pan coated with baking spray, we're gonna start adding the batter for our donuts to each slot in the tray. And we'll just wanna fill them about 90% of the way full and then smooth them out right before we get them in the oven. Speaking of getting them in the oven, if you're using a silicone donut tray, I highly recommend getting the tray onto a baking sheet before putting it in there, because obviously this silicone donut tray can be quite flimsy, and this is just a good solution for that. That said, you'll want to bake the donuts for about 20 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean from them. And then when that happens, we're gonna get the donuts out of the oven, let them cool down to room temperature in the tray that we baked them in, and then we're gonna remove them from the tray and let them finish cooling on a wire rack. Now, while they're cooling on the wire rack, I like to make a quick sugar-free chocolate glaze for the top of them. So to do that, I'm gonna add a third of a cup or 56 grams of some sugar-free chocolate chips to a shallow bowl, along with 2 teaspoons or 10 grams of ghee, although you could also use butter in its place, but the ghee really does add a nice nutty flavor to the glaze. Then, as you're seeing here, after you got the ghee or butter in the bowl, you want to mix it into the chocolate as best you can, since we're going to be microwaving those down together to form a chocolate sauce, and mixing them before microwaving will really help facilitate this process. Anyway, after about a minute of microwaving, just need to give everything a quick mix in there, and then we should be ready to dip our donuts into the glaze. Then once we've got all of our donuts glazed up and looking good, we can top them with some sugar-free sprinkles as well. And that, my friends, is how to make some crazy delicious donut shop quality collagen keto donuts. Honestly, these donuts have the most wonderful taste and texture to them, and I hope you enjoy them as much as my family does. As always, for more info on today's recipe, check out the video description below, and I'll see you in the next one.